يصبر نالت العز مرة غلوة ويا ما طاي المنايا جهزي لي بوراقي واكتبي من ثابت للتواريخ غرة غلوة
So the Yemenis, let's get right into it. The Yemenis issued a statement. They came out, had a huge rally. Looks like a 1,000,000-man march with Palestinian flags after being bombed and then retaliating against uh, the Israeli regime. And it's funny, like Trump said, you know, yeah, we beat the Yemenis into submission, and they turned around and started immediately launching rockets and drones at Israel again. And now they hold this huge rally. No women, no trannies, no homos, just a million, looks like 1,000,000 men with guns. And they said, Arab countries, open the borders so that we can march on Israel. Right? That's how real this shit is for them. They said, listen, open the borders. We'll send all our people. We send all our men, all our troops to the Israeli border, and we will defend the Palestinians. We will invade Israel. And it looks like they dead ass serious. I mean, they done sunk 2 ships, right? I think they took 1 or 2 and then sunk a couple ships. And then they've been shooting rockets and missiles nonstop. And now they've attacked Saudi Arabia and they've crossed the Saudi Arabian border before. And now they're like, yo, send us into Israel. We'll get the job done. Now, why is this significant? This is significant because who are the biblically, and you could do your own research, you don't got to take this from me. Biblically, and historically, who are the Yemeni, the Houthis? See, this is what they're not going to tell you on Fox News, right? And on CNN. They don't know this. So we're dealing with the occult Bible. We're dealing with, you know, hidden history, stuff like that. Who are the Yemenis? Well, the Yemenis, biblically, or would be called, in Bible prophecy, would be called the Sabaeans. The Sabaeans, the Eritreans, and the Ethiopians are all come from a group of people in the biblically are called the Sabaeans. If you look in Joel 3, it says, the Lord of hosts, after waging war, will send all the prisoners of war into the hands of the Sabaeans. Right? So that means all the prisoners of war after this war takes place, led by the Lord of hosts, which I'm hoping will be soon, right? After that war, when he invades, the ships crack the sky, his troops and soldiers invade. And it's going to be a quick war. It's going to be a wipeout. Then all the people who have enslaved and offended, right, and attacked the 12 tribes and colonized the 12 tribes of Israel, the Israelite tribes, in the biblical prophecy, the ones that survived the war are going into slavery, as is written in the book of Joel, right, into the hands of the Sabaeans. They will be the slave colonies, so that would be Yemen, Eritrea, and Ethiopia. Now that's biblical prophecy, based on biblical prophecy. These people, and then you can do your own research. You'll look this up. You'll see that what I'm saying is true, or seems to be true, right? Based on if you do archaeological research, go to Gemini, you go to ChatGPT, any of these, they can help you with your research, right? And you go to the Bible and then you cross-reference it, you'll see what I'm saying is true. That, and that's why when you see what the Sabaeans or the Yemenis, right, or the Houthis are doing, it makes total sense. The Yemenis are not Arabs. Look this up. If you think I'm, my research is bad, look it up for yourself. The Yemenis, the Yemenis of North Yemen are Arabs, right? And they've been kind of, I guess, mixed in because they got invaded by Arabs. But generally, the Eritreans, the southern Yemenis, and the Ethiopian are all the same phenotype. They come from the same group called the Sabaeans. Anciently, they would be called the Sabaeans. And they were known to be fierce warriors and great traders. Not traders like, but traders like in goods. Not negative like, sell each other out like the Negro in America. Not that kind of trader. Right? So the Sabaeans were known to be uh, very good fighters, right? Upstanding people, awesome, very good businessmen and traders. And biblically, it said that in the end, the Sabaeans would be the place where all the POWs would be held after the war. And they would be put into slavery there. They would be locked up. I'm sure other places, but generally they would all be sent there to Eritrea, Ethiopia, and southern Yemen, in that area where the Sabaeans are. Which would in a modern sense would be called Eritrea, Ethiopia, and southern Yemen, into the hands of the Sabaeans. It said you will be given and sold into the hands of the Sabaeans. You see? Now, if you look at what the Yemenis have been doing, right? If you say, okay, let's bring that into a modern sense. Does that make sense? Well, the Yemenis, this is today. This is June 25th, 2025. If you match that up with what's written in the prophecy of Joel, the end time prophecy of Joel, it matches exactly. Their behavior is of the Sabaeans, who are not Arabs. The Sabaeans are Shemites or Semites. They descend from the ancient Sabaean. They may speak Arabic now, but like Trigenian, I believe that Trigenian language is a Shemitic language. And so you can see that that's true. These people are descend from the Sabaeans, and they descend from the Sabaeans, right? And they're all part of that group. So we have to understand that. We see that the connection. I'm not trying to make connections that don't connect, right? But if the math is mathing, it's mathing. You know what I mean? If things add up, they add up. If they don't, they don't. But when you look at the book of Joel, and it talks about the Sabaeans being the place where, being the holders of the prisoners of war, great fighters, traders, and also Semitic people. They're not Arabs. They may have been Arabized, right? And infiltrated and colonized by Arabs, but the Sabaeans in southern Yemen, Eritrea, and Ethiopia are not Arabs. They're Semites. They would be considered a Semitic people, an offshoot from the 12 tribes of Israel. That's why they're not going to get subjugated in that sense. They will be allied. They will be considered allies to the Lord of hosts. Now look at their behavior. What are they doing? They just put out a statement and had this rally and said, listen, send us, Arab countries, open your borders and send us to Palestine and to Israel so that we can fight the synagogue of Satan. Makes perfect sense. When you look at when you have an intuitive sense, an intelligent, intuitive sense, and you research these things, the picture starts to come into view. A clear picture comes into view, and you start to realize what's going on. This is end time prophecy. This is the book of Joel manifest in 2025. This is the apocalypse of Ezra manifest in 2025. This is the book of Daniel, the prophecy of Daniel. This is the prophecy of John of Patmos of Revelation manifest in 2025, where he said, I know those who call themselves Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. It only makes sense that the Sabaeans will be fighting this in the last days, will be fighting the synagogue of Satan. Like they said, open the borders, send us to Palestine, send us into Gaza, send us into Jerusalem, right? That's all biblical, right? That's all biblical in the book of Joel, where it said they will come, they will all gather them, right? Gather them, the Lord shall gather all of the troops into basically Gaza. This is all biblical. Where he said the Lord, matter of fact, he says, the exact quote is, Jehoshaphat, the Lord shall gather them all down into Jehoshaphat. Where is Jehoshaphat? Jehoshaphat is a city, a small town outside of Jerusalem. He said all the armies of the world and the soldiers will come and converge. I will bring them down into Jehoshaphat. See, the Yemenis, the Sabaeans, are headed to Jehoshaphat. The United States Army is in Jehoshaphat. All the weapons that's killing the Gazans and starving them and shooting the babies come from the United States. The United States got to come down to Jehoshaphat. You see, they already there. The mercenaries that's killing the starving Gazan Semitic babies that they're bombing in tents and shooting them while they're trying to get food are from the United States. So they've been brought down into Jehoshaphat. Right? The Yemenis are going to Jehoshaphat. Mark my words. The Yemenis are headed to Jehoshaphat. The U.S., you are headed to Jehoshaphat. You're already there. Right? The synagogue of Satan is already there. It said a bastard shall dwell in Ashdod. They already there. That bastard is there. That's them. All the Polish and the Ukrainian and the European name changers. Right? The false Jew written in the book of Revelations by John of Patmos that he saw in a dream. Well, now that's taking place. Right? It's all taking place in real time. And so it's not long now. You know, it's not long now. I mean, you got those people, that's the synagogue of Satan, these Israelis, they've bombed Syria, they bombed Lebanon, they bombed Yemen, they bombed Iran, right? Iraq. They bombing Somalia right now. They bombing Sudan. They got the Ukrainians, Nazis running kill missions out of Israel, through Israel, down into Somalia and assassinating Somalis that won't cooperate. This is World War III. You see? And so, you know, I saw Dame Dash today. He was talking about how he in heaven on his farm, and I'm thinking to myself, this dude's goofy. I turned that interview off. He was talking some goofy shit. I don't know if he was high. I was like, heaven? I was like, man, this guy's crazy. I don't know about that, but I know all hell about to break loose. Particularly over there first. The Yemenis are going to Jehoshaphat. Everybody is at some point soon, right? the French, the English. This is all the synagogue of Satan. America, right? It's all part of the synagogue of Satan, the church of Satan, the house of Satan. You see? That's why in the Bible it say the earth is given into the hands of the wicked in the last days. Right? So they all being drawn in. And so very soon the Yemenis will march into Israel. You see them, it's a million of them out there now, right? No trannies, no homos, none of that. It's a million men out there in that street, maybe more. It's not long before for these armies, these hordes, march on Israel and sack Israel, the whole goddamn country. It's over with. It's a matter of it's short time now. This shit is that experiment is over. And the more they bomb those, and that's what they wanted though, right? They wanted the horrible pictures. They wanted to get to the point. And I said this. Go back and look at my. I've said this, right? They wanted this to get that bad. But they bit off more than they could chew. I said the Yemenis can't be stopped. I said this in videos probably a year ago. I said the Yemenis can't be stopped. You better leave them alone. These boys, all they do is drink beer or something and shoot missiles and AKs. They don't give a shit. And these people are faithful and true. These are faithful and true. These are not your video game playing, weed smoking, 40 ounce drinking, some Negroes or something. This is a whole different ballgame. The Yemenis are the Sabaeans. They got the blood of the Sabaeans running through their veins. This is a whole different crew. You see? And not only that, this is Bible prophecy. The end now was written in the beginning. So if I'm wrong, tomorrow the Sabaeans, the Yemenis will go somewhere and go to sleep. Walk it off, right? If I'm right, they're going to be part of the forces that roll over the borders of Israel and totally sack Israel. The whole country going to be sacked. Tell her the airport will be burned to the ground. All that shit going to be burned to the ground. It's going to be smoke, dust, and rubble when they finish. And you know who's going to be standing with them? The Lord of Hosts. By the time they cross that border, the Lord of Hosts and his ships and his men will be standing like he said. I shall bring them down, right? And I shall judge thee. You're going to be judged by a righteous judge. The Houthis have a righteous cause, whether you like them or not. These are not terrorists. When you look at what's happening in the Gaza Strip and you call them people terrorists, you're a piece of shit. Plain and simple. These are not terrorists. You see? These is honorable men. Better than most of the people you probably know. One of the poorest countries in the Middle East. The poorest country in the Middle East. But they decided to sacrifice everything to try to save these people. What the fuck do you people sacrifice? Nothing. What do? Sit home, eat your TV dinner, put up some flags, talk shit, right? You sacrifice nothing for nobody. Like the Joker said, your morals, right? Your codes are a bad joke, ready to be dropped at the first sign of trouble. That is true. These are not those kind of people. The Sabaeans are not those kind of people. They're not going to drop this because their morals and their code is embedded in their DNA. These are not Arabs. Stupid. And this is biblical. And these are not Arabs. They're going to push the line on this. And they may, in the end, I don't know how fast, but they're going to show up in Israel. And ain't nothing they can do to stop it now. And they, not that they want to. They're going to continue to snipe and shoot these and bomb these people. And so these images can come out. They have incited a hornet's nest. And now you can't stop it. The Israelis are nothing but satanic fanatics who worship at the feet of Satan, Lucifer, the devil, the Antichrist. And so the inevitable, is going to take place. The armies of God are going to face off against the armies of Satan. It is what it is. Now, you can believe whatever you want, but that's what it is. Right? I'm not going to get into, the minutia of that, which I could. But plain and simple, and you're looking at some of them right here. Not that the Lord of hosts needs their help, but it was predicted that they would be a part of this. Right? It's predicted in the book of Job, in the silly, the stupid Negro, right? So the fool says there is no God. There's, they'll tell you, well, the book of Joel is bullshit. You're wrong. This is proof. You have no idea what you're talking about. I watch people. 90, I would say probably 95%, 90% of the people I watch have no fucking idea what they're talking about. They haven't done their homework. And some of them, even if they've done their homework, they're dishonest people. They're generally just dishonest people. You understand? I mean, particularly when you see people like Benjamin Netanyahu quoting the Bible. I mean, that's ridiculous. So, so this is coming to a head really quickly. They're going to march on Israel. And there's nothing nobody can do to stop it. And they don't want to stop it. This is what they want. The Israelis want this. Because they think, well, we're going to take out all our enemies. Right? We're going to take out all our enemies. Really? You couldn't take out Yemen, the poorest country in the Middle East. Turning into the most dangerous country in the Middle East. Right? Because they'll fuck shit up. They not only they just shut down the Red Sea. That shit over with. They shut that shit down. You better not send nothing through there. They'll sink that shit. And now they ready to send 1 million soldiers across the border into Saudi Arabia or into Israel or wherever the fuck they gotta go. That's a problem. And they bombed them. What happened? What happened to the bomb? I thought y'all bombed them. Oh yeah, that didn't work out, did it? Now you're in trouble. Now you're up to your fucking neck in trouble. They're not going to stop. This is not going to stop now, right? I mean, and it shouldn't. I mean, this is Bible prophecy. This is the end times, right? We have to, you know what I'm saying? If we're going to deal with something real, right, we got to get right to it. We got to get to it and do it. This is where the rubber meets the road. Where Bible prophecy meets the road. This is what y'all wanted. People say, I want to meet Jesus. I want to see Jesus. Good. You're about to see him. And you ain't going to have to die to do it. I want to see Jesus. Really? Hold that thought. Hold that fucking thought. I don't think you ever really read the Bible. Because a lot of you, it tells you that. It says, woe unto thee, right? For the day of the Lord is darkness and not light. What the fuck do you think that meant when he said that? You thought it was a joke? He said, woe unto you. The day of the Lord is darkness and not light. What do you think he was saying? He was saying, I'm coming with millions of soldiers across your border into Israel. And I'm going to sack that motherfucker and burn everything to the ground. And rebuild it. Under the boot of the Lord of hosts. That's what he said. That's what the man said. Now that time is here. You see? Now that time is here. And these are his some of his foot soldiers. I mean, this is all written out. This end was written in the beginning. All you gotta do is read the book of Ezra. Like I told my silly mother and different silly people in my family. It's all right there. It's like a script and it's playing out. But see, they have a weird interpretation of these prophecies. So they don't understand. You see, the wicked, the Bible says that too. The wicked shall never understand. No matter how much they remote view, have psychics, minority reports, whatever. The wicked shall never truly understand until the very end. You see, when they have been captured by the Lord of hosts. Then they'll be like, God damn it. That book was real. That was real. Oh, now I get it. When they being marched into the camps in chains, right? When they being marched into southern Yemen camps and different places. When their cities like laid in waste. When you got ships hovering in the skies. What do you think? Jesus? Oh, Jesus come down in the cloud. I mean, this is y'all interpretation of the Bible. I mean, this is elementary school bullshit. This is child's play. Oh, Jesus coming in the cloud. With glory and all this stuff. Man, why don't you shut up, man? What are you, 5 years old? That's how you think, that's what you think that means? You're not smart enough to figure that out? You don't have a better grip on reality and science, technology, reality, mathematics, geometry to figure out that that's not what that means. That no white man is coming down a fucking cloud, right? With a heart to stroke you lightly on your hair and kiss you on your cheek and give you some milk and honey. You're being silly. You're deluded. You are a fucking fanatic. You are Nazi. A lot of these people are just Nazi, racist, fascist, fanatics. So they can't, as they say, get this through your fucking skull. What the actual facts of the matter are. Number one, because you never really truly had a spiritual experience or a experience of higher consciousness. So how the fuck could you understand prophecy that's 2,000 years old? I ain't gonna make this too much longer, right? I think I said, but yeah. So get ready for judgment, right? Judgment. The time for judgment is now here. You see, when you see the Sabaeans, the Houthis, right? They said, send us to the border. Arab countries, open your borders. Let us send our troops in. It's people sitting around probably in the United States and different places that think this is a joke. They think it's fun. I mean, I don't know. Maybe they think it's a joke. It's a game. It's not real. It's not reality. Right? You're not going to be whoring on OnlyFans soon. Right? You're not going to be a whore on OnlyFans. You're not going to be watching the football game, the basketball game, the Fantastic Four. Right? home beating off to some porn at a KKK rally, right? At a MAGA rally. None of that's going to be exist anymore. For very long, at all, if at all, ever again. You're not going to be surfing on the internet, on a podcast with a bunch of whores, you know, talking about accountability of women and all this, the modern woman. That's going to be, that shit will be a thing of the past soon. Thank God. So, but this shit is not going to go out with a bang, so you definitely better, buckle up and knuckle up, if you know what I mean. See, the Yemenis, they knuckled up and buckled up because they know what's getting ready to happen. Matter of fact, they sparking the shit off over there. They the tip of the spear for the Lord of Hosts. Unknowingly to them, probably. You see? But it is a holy war to them. And it's a holy war to God himself, to the Lord of Hosts, who was sent by the Most High to end the reign of Satan, the Antichrist, and his people on this planet, the inorganic ones. It's a fucking rap. And when I saw this, I knew it. I've been talking about this for a minute. I'm sure nobody pays much attention. You're going to pay attention now. So, you don't have to pay attention now. Because the Yemenis, the Sabaeans mean business. This is Bible prophecy manifest in the flesh. And pretty soon, like the prophecy said, right? I shall bring them all down to Jehoshaphat for judgment, for war and judgment. And that's what's going to happen. You're going to war. They're going back Iran. They're going to try to bomb Iran. You see? In a matter of a couple, probably days or weeks. They're going back and try to hit Iran. The Yemenis going in. Right? The Syrians going in. The Lebanese going in. Hamas is over that motherfucker fighting their ass off. Whatever you think about them. They over there running a guerrilla war and they ain't got shit. They got spit. And they over there running a fucking guerrilla war, wearing their asses out. And the best that they can do is kill a bunch of babies in tents. Starving babies and starving women and men in tents. That's all you got? That's all you got? Dude, I said it in a previous video. What's going to happen to them is going to be biblical. It's going to be more than biblical. So, anyway, that's all I got. Y'all take care out there.